In most cases, American students have already learned how to manage their time to study and relax. However, it is a different story in China. Students have to follow the schedule given by the school. The school even decides the time to eat and the time to turn off the light in dorm. When Chinese students come to America, they usually have to learn time management from the start. In America, I can always find the students in the class interrupt the ongoing lecture and ask their own questions. Most Chinese students like to hide themselves at the corner to avoid any kinds of notations because they treat the class or the lecture as a task instead of a great chance to learn knowledge. Moreover, some Chinese students even avoid eye contact with teachers. Asking questions, the good study habit, should be learned by Chinese students. In China, the choice of major and school only depends on the scores of college entrance examination that students get. In this case, it is nearly impossible for students to take the courses that does not belong to their major. Also, the transfer of major is also an unrealistic thing for Chinese students. The freedom to learn what you're curious about is a great thing we can get in America. The final exam scores usually have a high ratio in the grade of Chinese college, but things are not the same in America, where students will have many daily quizzes and attendance check which are also a part of the final grade. Coming from China, students have to get used to this kind of new study style the misunderstand may influence a lot about their GPA.
Now, let me introduce difference in recreational area between China and America. First, let me make an introduction. As two powerful countries of sport in the world, there are many differences between China and America. Let me introduce to you. In China, most of the people love to play ping pong, badminton, since race difference. People don't love the sports which needs to occur physical confrontation. But in America, people love to play basketball and football. They fall over themselves for sports and eager to win. Besides sports activity, fitness are also different in these two countries. In China, people see bodybuilding as an important thing to prepare for a long period of time and only do fitness for a short time. Of course, most people do fitness only a few times a month. But in America, I can see fitness from everywhere. Everyone uses spare time, even between class and class, to do fitness. They see fitness as drinking water and eating food. It is just a normal thing for them. There must be some significant reasons to cause the difference. From my perspective, the reason is population. China has 1.3 billion of people, but America only have 0.4 billion of people. So the government of America can put some costs into recreational as China, but provide a better condition for people. If everyone don't have time to do sports in China, while China has an amazing performance in Olympics, this is because when athletes are young, they will be sent to sports school since their transcendent sports talent. They will not accept normal study as others. Let's back to the main idea. So what's the recreational shock between China and America? When I first to come to America, I often see everyone wears same kind of clothes and walk to the stadium to watch sports games. It is a normal thing in America, but I have never seen this before in China. Everyone has a deep love in sports, so I was so surprised about this at the beginning. What's more, Chinese students can't blend in American sports rapidly. Though they also watch NBA and do the same sports as American, but they are lack of a feeling which is same sports as part of their body. Of course, both two kind of recreational culture has their respectively advantages, and my viewpoint is to accept the advantages of each other. Only when we accept more and more advantages can we continuously in progressing.
Different country has their different lifestyle. China has different lifestyle as America. Firstly, Americans always hold parties in weekends or when they are free, but Chinese do not always do that, except the Spring Festival or New Year's Eve. This is because most of Chinese like quiet place, and they are not willing to join this kind of crowded activities. And another part of reason is young people need to go on duty due to the fast-paced life, and old people want to find a quiet place or chat with others, and students need to spend much time on their homework, so they do not have enough time to have a picnic or join a party. The differences also exist when people present a gift to someone. In China, we always do not open the gifts immediately when someone gives you a gift. We always open the gifts when the giver is going away. On the contrary, this thing is totally different in America. Americans always open the gifts right away, and they even will try on if you give them clothes or if you give them a clothes or shoes. Furthermore, most people will present an expensive gift to a person who is important or helped them a lot. In contrast, Americans always do not accept expensive gifts or some luxury things. The debt habit is the most different thing between China and America, which is the most expressive thing for me as well. First of all, in China, we always put the vegetable in pots, then add soil, vinegar, salt, sugar, and some species to soften the vegetable. After this process, the vegetable will taste delicious. But in the US, people always make salad with leafy vegetable, then add some cheese. Moreover, we always drink soup, which contain milk or some grain, after we have a meal. But in America, people always eat juice or Coke during the meal. In China, we always have holidays due to some special meaning days, or commemorate some days, such as Mid-Autumn Festival, Spring Festival, and so on. But in America, people not only have holidays because of the special meaning days, but they also have holidays on account of different seasons, such as the autumn break and the spring break.
Different concept. An old Chinese saying goes well. People regard food as their prime one. Overall speaking, the different concepts of diet make the Western diet inclined to science and rationality, while the Chinese diet tends to art and sensibility. The focus of Western eating customers is only an extension of the original dietary practicality. The emphasis on taste in Chinese food customers push food into the palace of art. Food material. Western cuisine is meant to satisfy hunger, while when eating meat, it is to eat some relatively large meat. Many animal offal and so on will be discarded, and China will create another dish with chicken offal and so on. What many Westerners regard as disposable is an excellent raw material in China. Most of the material foreign chefs cannot handle. When it comes to Chinese chefs, they can turn decadence into magic. Most of the Chinese are used to buying fresh food for cooking every day. However, Americans often buy food once for a week and store it in the refrigerator. Cooking habit. Chinese most favorite cooking method is deep fried. However, Americans like roasted and stir-fried more. Chinese people like to use vegetable oil when cooking, while Americans like to use animal oil with high cholesterol. While Chinese cooking tend to put more salt in their dishes, Americans put only half as much salt in their dishes. Some people even don't put any salt. Moreover, the Chinese people, especially Cantonese people, are particularly fond of drinking soup, and people will put a lot of different herbs, flavor, and so on. Nevertheless, American soup are more drab. Table manner in dining table, the most conspicuous difference between China and America is Chinese use chopsticks, whereas Americans use knives and forks. At the same time, Chinese use bowl more, Americans use plate more. Many Chinese families enjoy a lot of food entertainment during festivals. Americans do not lavish on banquets or festivals. Even presidents invite foreign heads of state for a five-course dinner, and they will not urge people drink on banquets. In terms of clothing, Chinese people can dress casually at restaurants, but in the West, when people go to a fancy restaurant, they need wear a knit jacket and shoes. Ladies should wear suits and shoes with heels. If formal dress is required, men must wear ties.